And we're live.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hit record here. Give everybody a couple minutes to come in. What happened? Oh,
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So, this is Chapters and Checkpoints. It has been a while.
We're giving everyone a couple minutes to get in. We started early. We're a minute early. We'll just say the setup is worse than it was 4 years ago when we did
Then
this.
why did you hit start on the podcast?
I don't know, because some people
Now,
might.
I'm
'Cause
sorry,
this is like,
podcast listeners. So,
no, because it's background, like, behind the scenes. Even though everything I'm talking about is actually very visual.
well, here's the thing. If you're on the podcast, we'll talk for a second until everyone gets started. For those of you new to Chapters and Checkpoints, actually, I should say for those of you who were with Chapters and Checkpoints before, we are now a podcast. So that's why we're having a little bit of like confusion.
There's a computer I'm in charge of over here.
And of course, he hit the button at the wrong time.
You told me.
Hopefully I can edit this, but if not, podcast, we're sorry. It'll be better next time.
Look, this is that. So the podcast people are like, oh, we like their voice. They go get a drink, a snack.
All right, so it is 7, so we're going to get started. So welcome to Chapters and Checkpoints. For some of you, it's welcome back. We've been gone for a little while, like 4 years, a little while,
yeah.
Which we're going to talk about, and a lot has happened to us. But I'm Lindsay Detweiler.
I'm Chad Detweiler.
And together we're Chapters and Checkpoints. For those of you, okay, I'm sorry, but for those of you new to the show or the podcast, we've been together for a very long time. We met when we were 12 years old.
Too long, some might say.
We met when we were 12 years old. We've been married. It will be 12 years, I think. Is it 12 this year?
We got married in 2011.
Yeah.
October.
So it'll be 12 this October. We're just kind of your average married couple. We started doing this show a few years ago, really just for a way to catch up with people. Our show, I don't know, how would you describe what we do on this show for those who never watched?
It's it's one of those things where we're just kind of going to talk about basic life and funny stuff, and just try to have a fun time. It's one of those things where we want it to be stress free, so we have a group. We can just talk, have a good time. Because this is new, and I don't mess with this stuff, but I'm saying like I can straight ban people.
Yep.
There's a button for me to ban people from the stream. This is great.
So anyway, like I said, if you watched the show before, we now are going to be streaming on a podcast, and we also are going to be putting this on YouTube. So if you can't join us live, we know Saturdays are sometimes crazy. So if you can't join us live, you can always stream. If you're on the podcast and you're like, hey, I want to chat with these people like in real life / you want to see us, you can come to my Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be on here live, or you can chat with us. We love to take questions, interaction. Our old show, I was thinking about this today, and really our old show, I would describe it as like if you've ever been sitting around kind of like a bonfire. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Hi. If you've ever been sitting around a bonfire just like with some friends, catching up about the week, having a drink on the weekend, that's kind of what our show is virtually. Like in the past, we just really had a lot of fun talking with everyone. We all grab a drink and just kind of chat.
And then everything kind of went to shit, and we took a hiatus for a few years. So honestly, we're getting back into it. This is the first episode, so there are some bugs and kinks and things to work out. But we used to do games, and we used to try different foods, stuff like that, and stuff that people would bring up, in the comments, like we would talk about and do things.
It's just fun. That's really what it is. It's just supposed to be fun. Like
look, we have a list. Well, someone made a list.
I like making lists.
Of like stuff to go over.
But it's just supposed to be kind of like a fun chat. Like if you're bored on a Saturday, if you're feeling lonely, just come hang out with us. That's really what the show is.
Well, it'll be Saturdays. If you're bored anytime you want to get on and watch. But yeah, if you're available and you want to chat with us, please get on and chat. Now that being said, and we're going to bring this up at the end of the stream today. Next week we are going to be streaming early because there is somewhere we need to be.
Yeah, we're helping some friends out
in the evening.
So we'll be probably on a little bit early, but you'll still be able to find this at 7 p.m. It'll be posted here on Facebook. So kind of why are we back? Honestly, we missed doing the show. There are so many times over the past 4 years that we've just said, like, man, I wish we still had the show, or if we still had the show, we'd talk about this. And we just missed it. That being said, too, though, the past 4 years have been crazy.
Yeah, let's get into. We're gonna start with things that went on. And the big one, I feel is I lost my job. What happened was I got laid off. we knew they were laying people off. We felt that I was in a position that I may or may not have been safe because it was a union job. And no, they came and told me, they said, you were laid off. This was in November, years ago, 2019. This was right before the holidays. And then, and we're going to get episodes in the future. We're going to get into all the different places I've worked because I have been around. We're in a much better place now.
Yeah.
But it was a dark time, and with bouncing around and different jobs and schedules, and we had to stop because we just didn't have time.
We didn't have the capacity. I don't think we had the emotional capacity. It was a rough couple of years there. In the middle of all of that too, those of you who have been with us for a long time, you remember Henry. He used to come to my book events with me. A lot of you have met Henry. He's in all of the books. He passed away a few years ago in February. That was a really dark time for us, especially for me. With the pandemic, which of course we know, like, a lot of you have been through a rough time these past 4 years. It's been a crazy time for so many of us. With the pandemic, I was home with him for the last year of his life, which was kind of a blessing in disguise in some ways, but it also made his death so much harder because, like, for that whole last year of his life, I was with him 24/7.
And then what happened is where I was working at the time, it was an hour drive from here. I had like a 30-hour day because I got home from work.
30-hour day?
Yeah.
A 30-hour day.
Yes, this is why people tune in the show. You can hear our new dog barking.
A 24-hour day, 24 hours in a day.
Yes. So what a lot of people will say is if they were up for like 30 hours without being able to sleep because of things going on, they say, yeah, a 30-hour day.
I get it, but I don't
Get it now?
No, but I don't think you were up for 30 hours.
This is why you never attack me on the stream.
Because I don't think you were up for 30 hours. Anyway.
So what had happened was I'd gotten home, problems with the dog, we had to have the dog put down, and then I had to go back to work. So we literally had to have the dog put down, we got home, and I had to leave again and go back to work.
Also, what's different with us in these past 4 years, like we've been saying on the teasers, we have a lot of catching up to do. We do have a new dog. I'm sure you've seen him on my author page. I post about him all the time. Edmund, our Great Dane. Yeah. He's 140 pounds.
I can bring up a picture.
Pretty much nothing like Henry.
No.
Everything Henry was, he's the opposite. He's a good dog. We love him very much. But, like, Henry was a social butterfly and would go to book events. Edmund does not like being around strangers or groups of people.
And then kind of a funny story people seem to enjoy. I'll show you. This is a picture of Edmund now at 140 pounds. Everything's, like, backward. So, yeah, that's him on me.
If you're on the podcast, you can check this out on YouTube to see the picture.
He's fairly large. So, what had happened was, where I was working at the time, and we won't say names, they have a no cell phone policy, which a bunch of places have. Because I work in heavy industry, welding, fabricating, stuff like that. So I went to get on my phone, it was a break, and I had like 18 missed messages, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And this is 2 weeks after her dog had passed. And it literally started with, hey, I found this dog, and she was talking to Edmund's breeder, to all this stuff to, and this is on a Friday, to, hey, we're getting him on Sunday. Because I couldn't get on, so I had to come home Friday from work, after working, I believe we were like working like 14-hour days, and then dog-proof the house, so on Sunday we could go get him.
And then let's add to that in the meantime, I won a facial from like this spot. So that Saturday, I went to get my facial for like, and it took like 3 hours. And he was like getting ready for the dog while I was getting pampered. And
our house has it's a small house with an open layout, so I'm just dog proofing everything.
Yeah, it was kind of not the best timing, but we have Edmund now. You'll be hearing a lot more about him. You've probably seen him.
He's out there barking.
Yeah, he's barking. He'll bark the whole time, but he is very different from Henry. He kind of also threw our life into a tailspin. Because he's exhausting.
Because I understand she's home alone all the time. Well, she was because of me working, and she got the dog. So when we had the Mastiff, they're lazy. They don't do anything. They just kind of meander and just kind of exist. And we're like, oh, Great Dane, another large breed dog's gonna be the same way. No, it is not. It is not the same way. They are just. He's energy and anxiety, and he's afraid of birds, and it's the whole thing. So he's 2.5 now. So this was a while ago that this happened.
It's been a journey. So we have a question. Someone's asking about Four Will Die, which is my next thriller book. It won't be on NetGalley, but actually if you're on my mailing list, I believe it's next week, the ARC list will go out. So if you're interested in reading and reviewing early, that'll be next week. You'll get a chance to do that. So thanks for that question. The other thing that changed, like I said, it has been a lot of change these past 4 years. The other big thing that changed that some of you who follow us closely might know, I left the classroom. So I was a teacher, a high school English teacher for 10 years, and I actually left in August for a corporate job. I'm a communication specialist now, so essentially I write all day, which is like my dream job. It's what I wanted, was to be a writer. So I left the classroom. That was a big change, though. As you know, changing jobs is difficult. Yeah. Chad has been through a lot of several jobs. We're gonna talk. We're probably gonna have like an almost whole episode about Chad's job journey, because I know he's not the only one that's dealt with that. I know a lot of you, when I've posted before, have mentioned that you've been through that. It's a scary thing.
Especially when you go to a different job, and I did this 3 times, where I went to a job that was night and day different to what it is I am trained to do.
Yeah.
I was trained to be a welder. I went to our local vocational school for welding when I was in high school. I've always been a welder, metal fabricator, and we won't go into it in this episode, but I have worked at a hospital. I worked as a cook, and then door to door, I sold windows, which was short-lived, and there are some really funny stories with that. Like I said, we'll get into, but like, I've been around.
Yeah, so it's been a hectic few years. That's why we haven't had as much of a presence here. We haven't been doing live videos. We just haven't had time. Like, literally, our schedules for a while were where we didn't even see each other for a long time. But we're both like at a place now where we're in like solid careers. We're happy. And we just have like more regular schedules. So we're so excited to be back.
Yes.
We have a lot planned for the show. Like, this is just our opening, like to get things kind of, all the kinks worked out.
And to figure out the technology.
Yeah, because like I've realized in 4 years, Facebook Live even has changed so much. So thank you for bearing with us tonight. But, you know, we have a lot planned in the future. A lot more kind of things we want to talk about, a lot of different games and like food sampling. Chad is all about that, about the food sampling.
So I will find, even at the grocery store, I will find weird, maybe disgusting, how did they even make this things? And it's like, literally, like you could buy a hamburger made out of tree bark. And I'm like, we have to try this. Like, if we had the show, that's what we used to do back in the day, is we would try these things.
The first one we did when we first started the show, it was a bread in a can. Someone at my job told me about it. So we tried this brown bread in a can. It's literally like a canned good.
Yeah, like you open the can and it's
not
bread
like
inside.
Refrigerated, like a canned good. You find it in like the soup aisle, I think, the condensed soup aisle.
I remember.
It was not good.
It laid very heavy.
That was one of the first things we tried. And then someone gave you some idea for a hot dog.
It was Sheer. So the way he eats his hot dogs is he puts peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, so we
peanut butter, jelly, ketchup, and mustard on a hot dog. So we had it here on the show, and it was good.
It actually was good.
So really
we do, like I said, this show is just all over the place. There's no real specific theme. It's just kind of what we want to talk about. So kind of like I said, we're going to be covering more of the past 4 years. There's so much more to catch up on. We didn't want this to just be like here's all the crazy stuff that happened to us the past 4 years.
So we're gonna trickle that in.
Yeah.
But we do want to talk about here some recent things, because this is what we normally do with the show. And as we get caught up on what's going on, or what has gone on the last 4 years, it's mainly just more recent. So recently, we went to an adult Easter egg hunt. Now, we had done this before.
And, like, if you just stop there, that sounds kind of sketchy. Like, people are like, what happened at this Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate. I'm just going to be like, we went to an adult Easter egg hunt. So it's for a local humane society. And we had gone to one before, which was at a golf club, which was a really funny story with that. But this one was at a park. Just shake the whole table.
I'm sorry. Our setup's a little
small because
we're working on it.
So it's at a local park, and we could walk there. And there's going to be alcohol and food, and then there's 1,000 people going. They had 4,000 eggs that they hid. They were literally just everywhere. And you could win stuff.
It was really fun. I had a great time, like, to be honest.
So we went with some friends of ours. And when we got there, like, we knew it was going to rain, but it was just kind of, it didn't.
We're sorry, you can hear it.
We're sorry about the dog. We're going to have to listen to this back and see how bad it actually is.
It probably is bad, but go ahead.
So when we went, we're standing there, and I'm very specific with my beer taste. All they had was light beer, which I don't really like, but I'm drinking it because, I pre-gamed some of the house.
We walked up, yeah.
So I was drinking their beer. And then we get there, and it's like, at 8:20 when it's dark, you're going to go out and find as many eggs as possible. It's like, it will be war.
It was like Hunger Games style. I was, like, ready for it. Like, I was excited.
So my buddy and I were like, we're standing up there.
I was excited.
I'm not as fast as I used to be. And the guy, like, holding...
What do you mean as you used to be? You act like you were an athlete.
I was an athlete. So, and the guy there, he was like, please don't run me over. So they're like, okay, in 5 minutes, we're letting everyone go. You're going to go find eggs. And it downpoured. It just soaked.
Hi, Allison. Good to see
everything.
You. It was bad. It was like the worst rain you can imagine. Like sheets of rain just like pounding out. And we're not under a building. We're just in the open in the
I'm in a t-shirt.
I didn't wear my raincoat because it wasn't supposed to rain in the evening anymore. So they say go. I have never run so fast in my entire life, mostly because, well, I did want Easter eggs, I'm not going to lie. But also because there was a mob of people behind me, and I felt for sure I was getting run over. Like, I was like, if you stop, you're getting smushed. So I ran so fast. I was so proud of myself. People, Chad, how many Easter eggs did you get?
I got 0 eggs.
How many eggs
and one
did other people get?
So one of the, Ron, who's with me, got 1. So we didn't have a flashlight.
Here come the
excuses. And then people are like,
here they come.
People who are more physically fit than me are like basically running at a 90-degree angle with just their hands like an anteater on the ground.
Double-handed. That was me. I ran so fast. I got 10 eggs. And from those 10 eggs, I am happy to announce we won 2 cuts of pizza and some lottery tickets.
We did.
We didn't win any of the big prizes. There were like really cool big prizes in some of the eggs like you could win. We did not win, but we did have fun. It continued to rain, and the worst part of this whole scenario was we had bought raffle tickets for other raffles and door prizes. They weren't being drawn for like 2 hours from that point. So we were drenched, soaking wet. Like my hair was dripping wet. Like it looked like I got out of the shower. And we had 2 hours to wait.
The only semi-decent beer that they had there, they were out of. So I think it was just Miller Lite. And then they ran out of cheese, so I couldn't get a cheese fry. I could just get a fry because they didn't bring enough cheese for 1,000 people.
It was just crazy. They didn't expect
that. And then the DJ's calling the numbers. This is why we're here. We're here to see what we win. And the DJ's like, hey everyone, how's it going? What's the DJ? The numbers are working.
It was really
And we're like,
here.
What did he say? Well, they
we're
wrote them on a board.
Like a phone trying to look at this massive tickets. It was kind of struggle, but it was really fun.
So the reason and the funny, I can't just say there was a funny story from the first time we did one of these and not talk about that story.
That's really embarrassing.
So we had.
Are you really?
She had gotten us tickets to do one of these. It was at a local golf club.
Are you kidding right now?
So she drove. I was pre-gaming. We got there and they had a bar. I was really drunk. I'm drinking beer the whole time. When they went out to do the Easter egg hunt, I didn't really quite go. This is the first one. Because she went out and her parents were there and they're all looking for Easter eggs and I noticed the bar was empty, so I went and was getting beer. So what had happened was someone came up and just put tickets in my face and was like, here, $10 or $20 for a ticket. So I said, okay, and I got a ticket. And I go to her and I said, ticket. She goes, what's this ticket for? I said, I don't know. They sold me a ticket for $10. I'm really drunk. So she's like, whatever. She puts it with the tickets. They're calling out the numbers. They call that ticket. And I've been drinking more at this time. And she's like, hey, you won. But then she's like, okay, we went up together. The ticket wasn't to win a prize, which was a charcoal grill.
A nice one, a Weber.
Yeah, it was a nice Weber charcoal grill. So it wasn't to win a grill. It was to play a game to win said grill. Now, I am the extrovert of the family. She is the introvert of the family. She's getting better. Her parents are there. Her friends from work are there. And all these random people.
Like hundreds. Probably almost 1,000.
And then we found out what the game was is I had to stand with a cup about waist belt height. That's where they told us to hold the cup. They did. And she had a straw, and there is an entire table of jelly beans. So she has to suck a jelly bean, turn around, and drop it into the cup. Okay? So we have like a minute or two to do this.
A minute.
They're like, so I think it was a little bit longer. So we'll say 2 minutes. 2 minutes for 8 couples. Yeah. So it's like 2 minutes for 8 couples to do this. And whoever has the most jelly beans wins. Pretty simple. It's a grill. So we're just there, and they say go, and I'm drunk. I'm just holding the cup like I'm supposed to.
And he's like, hurry, you're losing.
Well, no, I was just saying hurry. I'm like, hurry, go, go.
So
I'm like, there's nothing I can do.
I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna win. That's my goal.
And people they're yelling, suck, the whole building.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, so it's very embarrassing for her. She's beat red. The problem wasn't that we won, because we did win the grill. The problem was how we won by how much. We destroyed every other couple. They were kind. They're like, oh, this couple, you got 6 jelly beans. Good job. They're like, oh, here's someone with 7, and our cup is literally almost full to the top. And they're like, wow.
It was an embarrassing win. Like, it was by an embarrassing amount. Because you told me I was losing, so I was, like, embarrassed. It was. And here's the fun part about that. When we were at this Easter egg hunt, it's been, 4 years since that first one.
I bought another one of those tickets.
It was before COVID. And some people remembered that I won. They were like, oh, you won that last one. I'm like, oh.
You're a jelly bean girl. So, they weren't. So I bought another ticket because it was the same game. I'm like, we are going to...
Thank goodness we did not get picked. I'm sorry again for Edmund. We're going to have to figure this out.
He gets upset when he's by himself and he barks.
Oh, boy. And he's very loud. So, anyway, speaking of the Humane Society, we did decide in the past couple of weeks that we wanted to... Well, actually, in the past couple of months. We made a decision we're going to start volunteering. What are you doing?
It was a hair.
Oh. We decided we're going to start volunteering at the Humane Society because I'm an animal lover. So is he, even though he won't always admit it. But we're both softies for animals.
I like some animals.
And we just thought it would be a really good thing. We could maybe start on Thursday evenings. They have a dog walking program, so we thought it'd be good to go and just help out once a week, and do that. So I want to try to tell his funny story from last week when we went to go. And then we'll tell you why we didn't make it this week. All compiled.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy couple weeks for us.
It really does. So we're going to this thing. Now, I've worked all day in the heat. It was a heat wave that came through. So it's 92 degrees here. And we're going to go, and we're going to train to walk dogs so that they don't have to be in their little cages. She was going to do the small dogs. I'm going to do the big ones. We have a Great Dane. Your Rottweiler doesn't scare me. The big dogs, they look small now to us. So I'm like, yeah, I'll deal with the big dogs. It's not a problem. I'm not afraid. So a lot of people are scared of them, so they don't really get walked. So I'm getting ready, I'm tired and all this stuff, and here comes Lindsay, and she is dressed. She looks like she's selling things in an Under Armour store. She is dressed in this sporty getup like, I think I could get my 5K in before we go to the shelter. And she doesn't wear this stuff ever.
Yeah, for new people or people on the podcast, I am not athletic. My only B I ever got in school was in gym class. I'm terrible at athletics.
I immediately called her on it. I said, what is with the sporty look? You're not taking the dog on a hike. And this is not stuff you normally wear.
I wanted to make a good impression, and I just felt like dog walking, athletic. I thought it went with the look. But I also want to add that I also had paw print earrings in because it just went with the whole outfit. So I took it very seriously. Long story short, we didn't get to do it that week.
So anyway, the lady that does that training has some problems. So it's on hiatus at the moment.
There was just some confusion, some miscommunication. So we rescheduled for this week.
Well, yeah. So they're like, okay, so next week come in. We're going to do an orientation. We're going to give you a tour.
So I had to find a second sporty outfit to wear.
Yeah. Anyway. So we're going to do all of that, and then when the dog walking program is back in, we'll be able to just move into it. And so we're at home and we're eating quick because we have to get going. And we get bark boxes and stuff. We have a cardboard box that sits on our table. The cat sleeps in. He loves them. He just loves sleeping on the table in a box. I think he jumped onto my cat. But what happened is we were walking away and we heard a crash and we turn and look and he jumps on our chair and we have high chairs and the chair fell over with him hanging on it.
It was a whole scene. It was in slow motion because I turned around when I heard the crash and I see the box hitting the chair, the cat flying out, the chair hitting against the counter. It was just this whole thing. It was just a nightmare scene. So he took off running, tail huge, and he went upstairs under our bed. So we're okay, maybe he's okay. Cats have fallen off the table before.
Yeah, we're eating. Well, he did ride a chair.
We decided to give him a few minutes to calm down because we knew we weren't going to get him out of the bed right away. And he had run upstairs, so we're okay, we'll give him a few minutes. So we go upstairs to get him out, and Chad gets him out. Where's him out?
So we get him out because he loves laying with us and he can't walk. He won't walk on that foot. He's holding it up.
I thought his whole leg was broken.
And it was at a weird angle, so I'm like, great. The cat broke his leg. So, and this was Tuesday. Thursday is when we were supposed to be going to walk the dogs. So we run him to the vet, and I said, hey, I think, my cat broke his leg. So they take him back. They x-rayed his leg. They said, no, we don't see a break, but there could be a hairline fracture or something that we can't see. They're like, take him home. Here's some painkillers. If he's still holding his foot up in a week, bring him back. Thursday, it's been 2 days. He now will not put any weight on. He's trying to walk on 3 legs. It's getting worse. I run him back to the vet, and I tell them, why are you opening drawers?
Sorry.
And you're shaking everything again. Amateur hour. So I take him back. I said, he's getting worse. He needs to be looked at. So their bone and joint person was there. They took him back, and they're messing with him, and then they rechecked the x-ray. It wasn't his ankle. It wasn't his leg. It is his toe. You can see right there, he snapped his toe because he rode the chair down.
Which, and like, in their defense, like Chad said, the x-ray is of the whole cat. So
the x-ray is this big of an entire cat.
Extremely hard to see. Like, it's only because it was a joint specialist he thought to look, like, zoom way, way, way into the toe to see that. So that's how it didn't get caught. But now the poor guy has to go on Tuesday to have his toe amputated.
Well, now he's on a heavy painkiller, and so they're cutting his toe bean off.
Because they can't really fix a cat toe. I didn't think about that, but it's way too small.
You can't pin it.
Like, it doesn't look like that on the picture, but in real life, it is so small they can't really pin it.
You can't pin a cat toe, and for us to try to do it naturally, he would have to be in a crate for almost a month. And even then, he can have problems when he's older. So they're going to amputate his toe.
So
poor guy.
All that happened on Thursday, so we didn't get to make it to dog walking.
It's been a week.
So we're gonna go hopefully this week to do it.
I'm not saying that out loud because
no, but like what I wanted to say too is that like even if you're not local to us, wherever you live, the shelters are just really overrun, especially these past few years. They're always full, of course. But these past few years have been really hard on rescues and on humane societies and shelters. So if you have the means and you have a little bit of extra time, the nice thing about volunteering at the shelters is they have like so many different hours you can go. You don't have to do like a full Saturday or anything. You can even just go like for an hour and help walk dogs or help socialize animals. And it just really helps out because the staff is just really busy. They have to take care of medical emergencies, feeding, cleaning. They don't always have the time they wish they did to do things like play or like take the dogs for a walk or socialize or do some of that training that's important. So, hopefully, we'll have more details once we get started.
Once we actually do it.
I would just really encourage you. It's something we've thought about doing before, but I guess we always just thought, oh, it's a huge time commitment. Do we have time for this? It really doesn't have to be. You can even just go for an hour a week. And if a number of us did that, it could make such a difference, I think. So, and I'm actually a little surprised that Chad is agreeing to this because we already, for those of you who don't know us personally, we do have quite the menagerie of animals because I can't say no to a sad cat story or anything like that. You're a softie too. Don't even blame me.
I have 2 cats.
When we got married, he hated cats. He said we'd never have a cat.
I didn't hate cats. They were just a stupid cat.
You didn't like them. So now we have a Great Dane, and we have 6 cats. They're all rescues of some sort.
I have 2. 2 cats of mine. You have 4.
I love how we split this up. But we have 6 cats. They're all rescues. So Chad is all, and I also feed quite a few feral cats in our neighborhood. I put food out
feral cats, aka a skunk. That when I go out to work when we're working overtime, I open the door and there's a skunk eating cat food.
There is a cat out there. So we're big animal people. So I'm excited that we're finally going to do something and help volunteer. The reason we decided to start this too was because of Henry. If you've lost a pet, which some of you have reached out and talked about that, about how hard it is, and I know, I still get sad 2 years later. But the one thing that's really helped me, so when Henry died, one of my dear friends, Alicia, she actually did something that was so touching. She sponsored a dog at the Humane Society in Henry's honor. And that just made me feel so much better because I felt like even though he was gone, in a weird way, he was helping another dog and his legacy lived on. So after that, I made a decision that every year on his birthday and on the anniversary of his death, we would go to the Humane Society and take a sizable donation of stuff. And so that's what we were doing in February. We took a donation. And they asked me if I wanted to see the dogs, and I made the mistake of saying yes. And then we went back and saw all the dogs and saw all these pups just wanting to play, and that really just inspired us to help out.
Well, I'm just looking because Allison here was saying at one point she had 4 foster cats and 2 dogs. If we were fostering them, that's one thing. If a cat shows up here, it lives here.
I'm Chad, because that's happened. We've had cats show up, and I'm Chad, I think I saw this on Facebook.
That was Amelia.
I think someone's missing this cat. I'm sure I'll find its owner. Ugh. It lives here now.
And she would do stuff we used to go to the Mending Hearts, which is a no-kill shelter here, And we'd go in, and it wasn't like, look through the kitties and see which one. She's like, who's been here the longest? And they tell her, and you know it's going to be an old, wheezy, sick.
And I loved him.
And that's the one she adopts, and you know it's only going to live a year, and then she's devastated when it dies, even though it had a good year for 2 years. So yeah, that's why
Bob lived for 2 years with us. His owner had died. She had gone to a nursing home and then died. He was one of 5 cats. All of his cat siblings got a home except for him.
Because he was this big around. He was borderline diabetic.
He was beautiful though, and he lived with us for 2 years and had the best 2 years of his life. So I'm very passionate about senior cats. I think they're fine. So anyway.
So for those of you who were, and Kristen's not on right now, she'll probably watch this later because she used to make fun of this. So when we did the old show, I have a shed, and our house has a chain link fence. And there was this much room between the chain link fence and the shed. And there was a weed that was growing up behind there. And I couldn't get to it, so I just kind of ignored it. So what it turned into...
Wait, why will Kristen laugh at this?
Because she's the one that used to laugh about the privacy
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Because you got mad. Because what it is, so this thing got to where our little shed, it was above it, and it got very big. And she's like...
Watch your hand.
She's like, she's like, you need to get rid of it. And I'm like, it's our privacy bush. Remember? Because everyone used to laugh about.
Yeah, this has come back to me.
I'm like, it's the privacy bush because this is big. Then we found out it was a blackberry bush. It actually, and I said, this year we're making blackberry jam.
Yeah, because I was in a panic. We got Edmund, and I'm like, what is he eating in the yard? Like, he's eating stuff. And I realized he's eating little berries.
Yeah,
he's eating berries.
3 times now you've done this.
He's eating berries off the tree, and I'm like, Chad, are these poison? Like, what is this tree? So
I'm sorry for the people here who are listening and can't see us.
YouTube.
Yeah, she keeps kicking the little table she has set up. So it's like baby's first table with all this stuff on, and it's just shaking the camera. So this blackberry bush got huge, and then we had a bad windstorm, and my shed, which was here, it was one of those like popped together resin ones.
For a while, to be honest.
It blew apart. So I had to have a dumpster, which they just took yesterday. I had to throw it in. So when I was tearing it down, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, the boards under the shed are warped. I'm like, that's what made it start to come apart. It got blew over. Yeah, no, that's the root system for this giant blackberry bush. The roots are probably 6 or 8 feet above the ground and then go down in because they were growing under the shed, and that's what destroyed it. And now they're too big that I can't really get rid of it. So we have a giant blackberry bush out back right now that we haven't dealt with yet.
Not we.
We're making jam.
I told you to take it down when it was
on the show. We're gonna make jam.
I'm not eating that. Ew.
It's blackberries.
No. I've seen too many of those TikTok videos where they put berries in I don't even know what they put it in and little bugs come out.
What are you talking about?
There's a video on TikTok.
Sure.
You can put it in. I don't know what you
It's
put
on TikTok. It must be real.
You put it in something and all these little bugs come out. I don't even know if it's true, but it creeps me out.
Right.
Just the thought of it.
So for the people who used to watch this show,
we're sorry.
Back in the day, about laughing about my privacy bush. Yeah, it got to the side that it
came back to bite him. So
it destroyed the shed.
Essentially, I was correct in getting on your case about that. Is essentially what we have learned from this encounter. No. There are plenty of times that has happened. So the other thing, look at me, I'm lighting up just getting ready to talk about this. The other most exciting news.
Hold on, let me start it. Let me start it, and then you can say it. Someone wanted to go to see Taylor Swift.
That was my exciting thing I was going to say.
I know.
You took it from me.
And we live in Pennsylvania, so the closest one to us is Pittsburgh, because the Philadelphia one's 4 hours away. So I thought, I'm going to be a good husband, because there's no way she's going to get tickets to this thing. And I'm like, if you want to go see Taylor Swift, fine. You get tickets that aren't in the nosebleeds. You get tickets that are good. We'll go, and I'm thinking I get husband points because there's no way
I need to back up. This is going to be a whole thing. I'm sorry if you don't like Taylor Swift, you need to hear about this. So some of you know, on my mirror, I have a bucket list. It's all my goals, big and small, that I want to do. By the way, before I continue the story, one of them has been crossed off, which I never thought would get crossed off. I got my first tattoo. We got a couple's tattoo. I'm really not doing a great job at showing it.
No.
But
and then
we got King and Queen of Hearts.
That
is a story. We'll tell that maybe after this, because that's a really funny story too. if you know me, I'm a needle phobe, like, to the core. I'm terrified of needles. I can't even see them without, like, dying. That I did not think would happen. But right under tattoo was see Taylor Swift. Another thing I never thought would happen because Chad hates going to cities. He hates it with a passion. He doesn't like driving there. He feels, like, unsafe in cities. He just hates cities.
I grew up in the woods where if we were walking, if we wanted to get, it was Melnex was the closest store. It was a 2-hour walk.
So he hates it, and I thought, because he told me before, he's like, we'll see Taylor Swift if she comes to a small venue. Well, obviously not happening. So I'm like, there's no way. So when I find out Taylor Swift is going on tour for the first time in 5 years, and Chad tells me, go ahead and get tickets, I literally jumped up and down, like a screaming schoolgirl. I was like jumping up and down, so excited. So I went through the whole, I'm sure you've heard about it, I don't need to rehash it, the whole Ticketmaster debacle. I was in the fan club.
And she didn't get tickets, and I was like, yes.
2 days of this, because I was in the Taylor Swift fan club, so I got first day. I was in the queue all day on my phone, didn't get anything.
And I was like, and I said,
second day,
I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, I look like a great husband now, because I'm like, yeah, we can go. I'm like, yeah, we can go.
Second day.
Not to you, to other people.
Second day, I was in the Capital One presale, and I got floor tickets, like VIP section in my cart, and it was that whole thing where it wouldn't let you check out. So if you didn't get the tickets, I think the problem was when you got into the queue, instead of just picking like your price range, you had to literally click on the 2 seats you wanted. And so if you have that many people in the queue doing that, it just kept blocking up.
That many people was going to wreck any
So I was devastated. I got no tickets. He was thrilled. And this was in like October, November. And I was like, all right, well, we're just going to have to wait until like June and see if someone's selling them. I told like everyone I knew, like if you find Taylor Swift tickets, I want them. I need to see her. He forgets about it. We move on. He's like, yes, no Taylor Swift.
Well, no, I didn't forget about it because all over the news was talking about the whole Taylor Swift debacle. And then they said that they were going to be doing a second round of sales. I got an
email in December.
And I'm like, okay, so they're going to do this again. It's going to crash again. I'm not worried, whatever. She's like, I hope to get one, and I'm trying to be supportive. I'm like, oh, honey, I'm sure, honey, you have a chance to get tickets. I'm thinking, yeah, it's not happening.
So December rolls around, and I did this thing that since I was in the Taylor Swift pre-sale and I met certain qualifications, which I'll tell you what I think it was in a minute, which is really funny.
Stupid.
But I was getting another chance. And like him, I was like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. The second round, this raffle is basically just you put how much you're willing to spend. Like they had different price ranges. So they're like,
which was convenient for them.
The top price range, it wasn't like put like bid on it. It was just like certain price ranges. So you knew they matched up with sections. So my dear husband
you were only allowed to get how many?
2.
Yeah.
That was it.
So you put basically, here's what I'm willing to pay. I need 2 tickets, and what they would do is if you won the lottery here,
it was
they were like,
form,
here's 2.
It was like a form you fill it out, and he's like, go ahead, put the top amount, which I was like, yay. But we still thought no way we were getting that. And then the best news came out. It was the week before Christmas that they let us know. Chad, tell them where we're sitting for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Where are we sitting? Where are we sitting? And he does not like Taylor Swift, by the way, at all.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, not at all.
I like one song, which I would never admit which one it is.
You do?
I said there's one song of hers I liked, and you're always like, which one? I'm like, I'm not.
I'll figure it out at the concert. I'll see his little eyes later.
They won't.
They will.
Not only does she get tickets, we're on the floor in front of the stage.
Like the back, not the front stage, but the stage
it's all one stage.
Out. Yeah, we're at the back end.
You know, where everyone's being loud and like bumping into you and screaming and jumping, and you can't really sit down. That's where we are.
I'm literally so excited. Every day, I swear, he has to hear about the Taylor Swift tour since December. Every day, I jump up and down a little bit. And every day before bed, I get on TikTok and watch updates on the tour. And the most exciting update is how long the concert is going to be. Chat.
Just Taylor Swift. Just her. Not any of the weirdos she has with her.
Chad.
Sings for 3 hours and 15 minutes. And here's what I've had to deal with.
When I told him that, he thought I was kidding or lying.
This one here has bought 3 outfits for Taylor Swift. She's only wearing one. we're at 3 at this point.
Yeah, I keep adding on. I couldn't decide. Did I want to go with Bejeweled? Did I want to go with the Reputation?
It's like Barbie's shopping adventure. She's like, what do you think of this one? And I'm like, I'm not even going to say anything because you're just going to buy more crap to make a different...
I'll have to show it off. Yeah, so right now I started with the Midnights look, and then I went to Red. And, you know, if you know, you know. And then I went to Reputation. So now I'm doing the Reputation, which is like the gothy look with the snakes. I found snake earrings. I got a snake ring. Every week I add something. And I have a full sequin jacket. Just as long as it doesn't rain, it'll be good. But
I'm wearing the same gray shirt that people always see me in.
I've been trying to get him to wear a more fun outfit. So please
we're red today.
Send us recommendations of what you think Chad should wear to the concert. Also, at the concert, they're doing this thing where you make friendship bracelets because of one of her songs, and you trade them with people. So I'm making him wear at least one because I want to see if someone will come up and trade with him.
No one is going to approach me to ask for my friendship bracelet.
If you wear bracelets, people are supposed to come up and be like, hey, do you want to trade? So he's going to wear a couple, and we're going to see if someone trades. So if you're watching this and you're going to the Pittsburgh T-Swift show, please come and ask Chad to trade.
Yeah, if you're at the Pittsburgh Taylor Swift show on the floor, come find the tattooed balded beard man and ask him for a friendship bracelet.
I'm so excited. So let's tell them how I think I got picked for the lottery system. This is just beautiful.
Stupid.
So in November, there was like a Black Friday sale on the Taylor Swift website. And I don't usually buy merchandise from her because it's really expensive. But they had Reputation Tour t-shirts for $10. So I was like, $10? All right, I'll just buy one. What I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, it might be a rumor, but what I've heard is people that got picked for the second chance raffle were people who were in the fan club, which I was, and who bought merch. So if you got merch, then you were put in this. So that $10 t-shirt that I bought on a random whim is what secured Chad's spot at the Eras Tour.
Now,
and I'm so excited about it.
I did, however, get revenge, as for the first time ever, and this was the thing with discussing with other people. So a lot of times we go with Whammon.
Let's ask that question.
Yes, I'm going to.
Yeah.
To see one of their concerts. How many of you who listen to different musics have gone to see your significant others? Because what she realized is, I saw a thing, and they're coming to the place your parents go for like the Kiss concerts and stuff.
Pavilion.
Yeah, it's like the Pavilion in Pittsburgh.
It's something different now. It's called something different.
Lindsay, who are we going to see in September?
I keep calling them the wrong name, but I think it's Godsmack. I keep calling them Gobsmack.
No. Yeah, so we are going to see Godsmack and Stain. Which Stain's alright, but Godsmack is one of my favorite bands.
Get me some nachos and a drink and I'm fine.
She was talking about it with some friends of hers, and they made the realization that they were like, oh, we have never gone to one of our husbands' bands, especially if they listen to like the rock or the heavier stuff like I do. Because the options were Mudvayne or Godsmack, and she didn't dig Mudvayne. That was a pun for people who listen to Mudvayne. Their big song's called Dig. So we're going to go see Godsmack.
Yeah. So anyway, super excited to see T-Swift, and
I'm not.
We're so excited. We'll keep you posted.
Such a long day.
You should live stream from the concert so everyone can see your joy at T-Swift.
Maybe we'll do a quick. We'll do a quick stream, from the floor.
I'm like peeing my pants. So before
you can see what outfit I picked.
We need to talk about the mailbox. I forgot to write that down. But before we talk about that, let's talk about my tattoo. Because we talked about that a little bit on some posts, but it was like really exciting for me. So that has always been on my bucket list. As you can see, he is tatted up.
A little bit. So when I was getting this elbow done, she came with me to a tattooist. I'm going to a different place now. But, you know, he did good work, and we were there, and she has a phobia of needles. I'm like, why don't you come with me?
I cry if I get a shot still, and I'm 35.
So we went, and this was years and years ago, and he had put the tattoo gun together, and he set it there, and he goes, and he was real good with her. He goes, look, that I'm not touching it. He goes, that's what it looks like, because he's dealt with people like this before, and she's looking at it, she goes, oh, it does. It kind of looks like a pen.
I can pretend it's a pen. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the important part is I can fake myself out.
So I'm sitting there, and he's drilling on my elbow, which wasn't fun. You'll notice I haven't done that one yet because, that was not fun. So he's drilling on my elbow. And he's talking to her. He's like, well, you know, we have time if you know it. And she starts to, like, hyperventilate. Fast forward to the tattoo artist I go to now.
So in August, I started the new job, and so like that was scary for me a little bit, leaving my comfort zone. And I'm like, all right, I did it. This is my year of doing brave things. I'm gonna get this tattoo. So I was like, Chad, next time you go, make me an appointment.
My tattoo artist's name is Billy, and I explained to Billy what had happened before with her in a tattoo. So he's like, okay. He's like, so here's what we're gonna do. He goes, we're gonna bring her in. He goes, and she's gonna go first. Because if she waits for me, because when we went, I was getting my hand done, this hand. I was getting this hand, and then I got the same matching tattoo, because we're getting a couple's tattoo. So she comes in, and Billy and I are talking, and she's freaking out. She's like, I don't know if I can do it.
I just want to say this, though. All day, I was hyping myself up. I cried probably 6 times. When he came home, I was sobbing. I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot do this, because I was so scared.
So we went, and it is, if you've never had a tattoo, it is almost impossible for me to describe to you what it feels like.
No, it feels bad. It feels like a needle on your skin.
That is
how I would describe it.
It's different for everyone. It depends where you're getting it. There's all these different factors.
Scary.
like my worst were my armpits and my elbows and my wrist. So when she's getting something up here, I didn't have a problem with that. So I couldn't really. So anyway, Billy and I are talking. She comes in, and we just basically pretend we ignore her. She's like, I don't know if I can do this.
I was freaking.
And Billy just kept talking to me.
I was texting my friend Christy, I can't do this. And she's like, don't back out. Just do it.
Billy's like, sit down. And he put it on, he's like, how does that look? Like the transfer. He's like,
and I'm like, I still
and we adjusted the transfer a little bit. And he's like, he just straight ignored her.
It was terrible, but
and
it
then
worked.
For the actual tattoo, she just kind of, and he started, and she's like, she has the Queen of Hearts. I have the King of Hearts. So she's like, I'll just do the heart. And we'll see if I can go any further than that. So he just did the whole thing.
It took like 30 seconds.
It
literally
took
forever.
Like
I was squeezing my eyes shut. I was just freaking. I just had myself so hyped up at that point, and I was like, I'm dying. I can't do this. I was like complaining the whole time, and I'm like, Chad, please just tell me a story. Take my mind off of it. And the man who never shuts up, to be honest, like you know him, some of you know him. He never stops talking. He goes, and he has nothing, and then he goes, well, a wrist tattoo is a really painful place to get one. And I'm like, that is your go-to. When I'm like, distract me from the pain.
Well,
you go to, wrist tattoos are harder to get.
So,
hi, Kristen, you got a shout out.
So, Allison, my bucket list is I would love to go to Disney so I could buy a lightsaber at the Star Wars, but my Disney trip is out here barking, if you can hear it. And, Kristen, you did get a shout out because,
oh my gosh,
the privacy bush that we had got so big it destroyed my shed. And literally over the weekend I've been throwing the shed into a dumpster.
And Kristen, he's saying that you used to laugh about the privacy bush.
She did. She laughed because I was calling it the privacy bush that we had in the backyard. And it destroyed the shed that I had out there.
So anyway, I made it through my first tattoo. It was scary, but I was so proud. Like literally that whole week, I just like stared at my tattoo. I still like look at it. I'm like, I can't believe I did it. Like it's so.
A lot of people can't believe that you did that.
It's so small, but literally our whole family is like, I cannot believe you did that because I am so bad with needles. But we did King and Queen of Hearts. We were actually watching one of my reality shows, and they got King and Queen of Hearts, which I thought was really cute. And because we've been throwing around a couple tattoo ideas for a while, we didn't know what we wanted, and I just like really liked it because it was super simple. I felt like it was like super just like kind of classy looking, like nothing dramatic, and it was a good first tattoo because it took 30 seconds.
Yes. So I'm in here against the wall. Can you go
I'm
deal with him, please? So the dog has, like I said, he has anxiety, and when he's by himself, he kind of freaks out. So she's just going to step out for a second and deal with him because he barks and barks and barks. I don't know how much of it you guys can actually hear. Let us know in the comments, but he's kind of going nuts out there. We are going to be talking here quickly about, so we like to do, or what we used to do is we used to do movie reviews, TV shows, stuff like that. And she has a TV show that I showed her that I never actually watched that she's going to review. And we actually have 2 movies. I'm just going to give a quick, we're not going to do any spoilers, but the 2 movies that we were going to talk about, one is Knock at the Cabin, which we just watched because I love anything with Dave Bautista in it.
I put the TV on for him, which sometimes helps. If you have a dog with anxiety, TV, we found is a lifesaver.
Well, I did say if anyone's listening to give us a message, let us know if you can even hear him.
Okay, I put TV on, that should help.
So we watched Knock at the Cabin, which is an M. Night Shyamalan movie with Dave Bautista, and I love Dave Bautista. And then we watched The Menu. And I'm not going to give any spoilers. The Menu is a must-see.
You should see it. I think it's highly underrated. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of people talk about it. It is wonderful.
It has Anna Taylor-Joy. The guy who played Voldemort and was in Red Dragon is the chef. It's just, The Menu is an amazing movie. And then Knock at the Cabin, she didn't like it that much. I thought it was very, very good.
Not my fave.
M. Night Shyamalan is known for having really, really stupid twist endings. It was really good.
Menu is definite must watch.
Yes, The Menu, it's a horror movie. It is so good.
I also want to say comments are really behind, I'm noticing. So if we're not ignoring you, it's just like they are really lagging. Like I feel like they're coming in much after we talked about that.
Yes.
And also I wanted to shout out for the we are not. I also wanted to point out that if you're on the podcast or on YouTube, feel free to leave a question in the comments. We will be checking the comments there too, like especially on YouTube. So don't feel like you can't be part of the conversation. We'll still be checking those as well. And again, we're sorry for the dog. He's just upset that we're back here. We need to figure out a way to just like have him back here. Maybe he'd be calm.
I don't think. See, like Allison said, she loved The Menu.
I love that movie. I didn't think I would either. So it
was one of the movies actually I'd been waiting for. Remember, we waited for it to come out because. And with post-pandemic world, we have realized that going to the movies is nice for some things, which I think this is something I do want to talk about real quick. But renting it now with the stream services at home is, we think, so much nicer. We cook a meal. So, in the time that I was off work and jumping jobs and all that stuff, Lindsay did something for me, which was very, very special. And it was something that I didn't actually notice. She did. My top favorite movie of all times, number 1, is the original Jaws. I could watch that movie every day. Every summer I watch it a couple times. Like, I love Jaws. Lindsay realized that they were selling tickets, that they were having a showing. It was the original Jaws in theaters, and it was in 3D. So they did the technology. We've done the same thing with Jurassic Park. But it's the original movie. They didn't change anything except that you could watch it in 3D with the 3D glasses. And because I wouldn't have been born when Jaws originally came out, this was my chance. I got to see Jaws in theaters, and it was amazing.
So, I was going to try and transition, but I don't really know.
Well, I already told you. I said you had a show to
Yeah, I want to talk about that, and then I want you to talk about the mailbox before we go. So, our shows are usually like an hour-ish, just if you're new to the show. Like, that's usually what we do. So, the other show I want to talk about, I have watched a lot of shows lately. Like, to be honest, I could probably talk about like 10. But the one that I recently got done watching that I loved is Daisy Jones and the Six. Tell me in the comments if you read the book or if you watched the movie. I did not read the book. It was one that was like on my radar, but I never got around to it.
I saw the trailer for the show, and I'm like, you need to tell them what your newest favorite movie is. Yeah. Because I saw this, I'm like, that is right up her alley.
My favorite movie that we watched a few years ago, and we watched it on a whim. It was like, I remember we were sitting on the couch, and we're like,
I heard this is
looking around Hulu or something, and he's like, oh, Bohemian Rhapsody. And I'm like, I don't really know anything about Queen, but alright, we'll watch it, whatever.
You've watched that movie like 16 times.
I don't know what it is. Have you ever watched a movie that it just like hits you in the soul? Like, that's how I describe Bohemian Rhapsody. I did not like Queen before. Like, I would hear their songs and be like, oh, whatever. I loved the movie. I loved learning about Freddie Mercury. After I watched it, like, I felt like I was Googling his life all the time because he's so fascinating. Like, there's so much about him. I am a sucker for any, like, biography kind of movie, like Walk the Line, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Musical biography.
Anything that's about musicians.
Elvis. The Elvis one.
And shows like a rags to riches kind of story. I love it. So when he saw, and also like something that has a touch of romance in it. So when he saw the preview for Daisy Jones, he's like, you need to watch this, you'll love it. I love it. I love it. It's set in like the 70s, so I love seeing like the outfits. I love like the different vibe, and it's kind of like historical a little bit. There's a love triangle. There's music, and here's the thing. The music is all like original. It is good music. I listen to the soundtrack now.
Well, didn't you say that the band that plays in the show is actually going on tour.
Yeah, they're making plans right now to go on tour. They're actually very good. So the girl who plays Daisy, who's the lead in the band, she's one of the lead singers, but also the lead actress. It's actually Elvis's granddaughter, which I think is really interesting. She's phenomenal. She is so good. The story is good. It's deep. It's funny. It catches the 70s vibe. It is just a beautiful, beautiful show. You should definitely check it out. Really, really love it. And it's also it's got a lot of swearing, a lot, but it's I
haven't watched it.
I think it's PG-16, so it's not some of the shows lately are very raunchy.
Yeah, some of the stuff you watch is quite raunchy.
Yeah, I do watch some raunchy stuff, but it's not super. As long as you're okay with swearing, it's not overly raunchy. There's not a ton of mature scenes, I guess you could say. There's a lot of drugs because it's the 70s, but it's
not Outlander.
I love Outlander. That's my favorite. But anyway, it's a really, really good show. Highly recommend. I really think you would like it. There's another movie I'll just mention in passing. I watched it a while ago, so I don't remember all the details, but I loved it. I think it's called Look Both Ways. It's on Netflix. It's a really cool movie. So it's about this girl. It's the night of college graduation. She finds out a shocking secret, and basically the movie it splits. So it goes one way she finds the answer is yes to this problem, and one way the answer is no. And so literally you're basically watching two versions of the same movie to see how her life would be different. It sounds weird, but they really pulled it off because it's really hard to do that kind of movie without it feeling repetitive. It was amazing.
What movie we watched? It gave us three perspectives of the same story, except two of them were lying.
That one about was it called The Duel? Was that what it's called?
The ones with the knights dueling. It has
I think it's called The Duel.
Oh, what's his name?
It's based on a true story. I know.
Adam Driver. It's the Adam Driver movie. Yeah. So, and it's three perspectives. It was good.
Yeah, Allison, I agree with you. Rami Malek, is that how you say it, Rami Malek?
Yeah, Rami Malek.
He made that movie amazing. If you look at the side-by-sides of him performing as Freddie Mercury in the actual Live Aid, it is down to every movement. They filled up the Pepsi and beer cups on the piano, to be exact.
Yeah.
There's the same amount of cups.
South Park does that. So, now, since we're going to do the chapters and checkpoints part of this, the checkpoints part, so Rami Malek plays Josh in Until Dawn. The Until Dawn video game, which is one of the few video games that Lindsay has played through in its entirety. Yeah, he's the character of Josh.
Speaking of video games, the other show I really liked that I did not think I would was The Last of Us. I knew nothing about the show. I did not play the game. He started watching it with me and then dropped off.
Because I knew the story.
I loved it.
It sticks to the game.
I didn't think I would like it. I loved it. It was if you like Walking Dead, it has that vibe but better. I think it's way better than Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's a cordyceps fungus that's affecting
I really liked it. So anyway, before we wrap up for tonight, we want to talk about one thing. We're going to
give you something positive. We're going to give you an idea for your household that really...
We started when you got laid off.
Yes.
It was the year...
So I got laid off in 2019, and
then the pandemic
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. We were in a dark place. I went from making money working there to almost none, and it was the holidays, so it wasn't holiday, because it was very hard.
We told ourselves it's okay, be positive. In the spring, people will be hiring again, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
So that was a lot.
So the holidays had happened. I had no money. I wasn't working for part of it, and after the holidays, everything's on clearance, and we just happened to be at Michael's. And
it's a craft store.
Yeah, craft store. And it's like I said, we're just in a bad place. And I look over, and there is a stupid. I should have brought it in. It's this high. It's a metal mailbox, post box, the blue ones that are
decorative, but it's an actual
and it
box.
says "Letters to Santa" with a mail slot, and it has a door on the front that you can open to then pull them all out. Something you get for your kids.
It's for kids, yeah.
And we were just in such a bad place that I got it, and I said,
it was
cheap.
$10.
It was cheap. It was super cheap on sale. I said, we're buying this, and I'm putting it in my office, my gaming room. And I said, anytime something funny or good happens throughout the year, we're going to write it down, we're going to put it in that box, and at the end of the year on New Year's Eve, that night, we're going to open the box, pull everything out, and we're going to read everything that kind of happened to us for the year. And this is going to be the 4th year that we've done it now. Yeah, because we've done 3 other years.
Yeah.
it is, it's so nice. And we save all the stuff and we label it. There have been places that I've worked, and when I quit and went somewhere to better myself, I took the lanyard and stuck it in there. For like anything, we write stuff down. We put fortune cookie fortunes in there. We were putting like scratch off tickets. Now we do label stuff now with dates and explanations.
We learned.
Because the first year we had stuff written that we didn't, it was like codes that we still don't know what it means.
It still like haunts us.
But yeah, so I
So be specific. But we got a, did you say this already? Maybe you did. But we got a Polaroid camera.
No, I didn't.
Okay. We got a Polaroid camera. Because they're like back in again, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they are.
But we got it cheap too.
So, okay, hold on. Before we go any further, and we're wrapping up here, but I gotta say, here's why we got the Polaroid camera. I thought it would be cute, and I bought a date book. And what it is you open it, and all it says is, it gives you kind of a hint of what the date's going to be like, and about how much it's going to cost, and how much time you need. But you don't see what the date is. You have to scratch it off like a scratch-off ticket. Once you scratch the date in the book, you have to do the date.
As a couple.
And then you take a picture and stick it in the book. And
you use where it is.
I know where it is.
Okay.
We haven't done it yet, and I'll tell you why. And you use their camera was very expensive, so we found a cheaper one. So you take the picture with a Polaroid, stick it in there.
Then you have like a scrapbook at the end.
And we're like, this is adorable. This is what we're gonna do. It's going to be great. We're going to save some money, do these dates. It's going to bring us close together. And then COVID shut everything down.
So we
had this book, and I'm like, there's no point because we can't go anywhere to do anything.
But we did start using the Polaroid for our mailbox. So we'll just take like random photos of fun stuff we're doing, goofy photos throughout the year of like different dates we do or funny things that happen or dinners we're having. And we'll pop them in there.
Or random pictures of the cat.
I really recommend that because when we pull stuff out of the mailbox at the end of the year, those are the ones we really like. Or seeing the weird pictures.
And it is. So what we do is we take turns because we have note cards that are sitting right next to this mailbox. I should have brought it in here. But and we have a pen there. And it's there all year long. Mm-hmm. So there was times, like literally, there would have been a day that Lindsay stepped in dog poop on her way in the house and I'd write it down. The date, the time, she was really mad, and stick it in there. So then on New Year's, we're pulling it out with the date, time, and here's what happened.
Like what we found, me too. I just have it on me.
Yeah, it's just a cat.
So we found that like there's so much stuff that happens that like a lot of times you get to the end of the year and you think about like the crappy stuff that's happened to you.
Yeah.
But honestly, and like you might think of like the big things that happen, but we realize there's so many like good moments that happen that you just like forget about.
Funny stuff that just.
Like, we'll get the mailbox out and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot that happened. So it's really, really awesome. Like, I really love doing it. It's our favorite tradition. And sometimes, like, what I think is really cute, too, is sometimes, because we don't tell each other when we're putting stuff in, we kind of, like, sneak it in.
Yeah, you just...
So a lot of times we get to the mailbox and I put in, I remember there was this one Halloween date where we stayed home and just watched Halloween movies. It was right after he got laid off. We were in like a bad mood. We watched Halloween movies, made appetizers, and I put in about how it was my favorite date / Halloween ever, and he put in the same thing.
Yeah, put the same thing.
It was like really cute. So I really recommend doing that. You don't have to get the Michael's Santa mailbox. You could literally...
You could use a shoebox.
Which, by the way, if you have a Michael's Craft Store by you today, I saw they have spring mailboxes in. They're like white with roses on them. So if you want a pretty one.
And then what we do is we put everything into a bag and we put the date on it and it goes in the attic with the other ones. And then we can get them all out when we want and look at, oh, here was 2020s, 2021s. And just a bag of basically our memories for the year.
Yeah, it's really cute. So we love doing that. It's just a nice way to reflect, especially when you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
It's easy to just be like, nothing is good. But even that year that was like the worst year when we lost Henry, you lost your job, there were like good things too. And we look back,
there were places I started working and I'm like, oh, I got this job. Things are going to be better. We're fine. And it was a nightmare. But then at the end of the year, when we're opening it up and there's the thing I put in of how, oh, I got this job. It's the greatest thing that I wrote down. It's like, if you only knew.
Yeah. So if you've been through that, if you've been through job loss, you know it is a roller coaster.
Yes.
And we'll definitely be talking about that in the future. So thanks so much for joining us, especially for all the podcasts, because I feel like it's going to be a little rough. We're not used to podcasting yet. But
don't stop kicking the table.
I didn't. Okay, we're going to work on our setup. We'll keep expanding. Next week, so we're usually going to be live here on Facebook at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we're helping some friends out, so we'll be earlier. I don't know what time we're going to be live streaming.
We'll let you know.
Yeah,
so we're basically, the live stream will be going up at 7 if you want to watch it at 7.
So we'll live stream at like 3.
But we are going to be going live earlier, and we'll let you know when we're going to be doing that because we do have a previous engagement.
So if you can't join us, just catch the replay. You can always join us on YouTube at LA Detweiler and on your favorite podcast streaming service.
I'm trying to bring my kitty up here so everyone can see her.
Hopefully, we're going to work on that. And we'll be back next week with more stories, more chaos, and lots of things. If you ever have like an idea for the show or a question, you can email us at authorladetweiler@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
You're the best kitty.
Some of our favorite shows have been like ideas from friends or like silly things they tell us to talk about.
It's my kitty.
So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We missed you so much. Like, we were so excited to come back tonight, and it just feels really good to be back.
Yes, it does. It feels
good to be back. It's been a long few years, so we're excited to catch up with you too. We're excited to hear more about what's been going on with you for the past 4 years. We missed all of you. We really did look forward every Saturday night to like the banter and the chatting back and forth. We feel like we really were able to build a community here, and it wasn't just us. It was like everyone that came and joined was like chatting and talking and getting to know each other. So we really would love to have that again. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye. Oh, now?
Yep.